We're in a bus. Oh my god, we're by King Kong. Oh, I'm scared. No, why is it shut? Why is the door shutting? No, why the door shut? Why the door just pitch black?
Look.
Why the door shut?
Hey, relax. Look at the jungle. Look at the jungle.
It's jungle.
Oh, they're trying to get him.
Dinosaurs! It's dinosaurs!
They're trying to get him.
What's that? Is that King Kong? What? It's the birthday dinosaur. That's King Kong. It's Kingy. He just jumped on the car.
Oh, going down.
We're not even moving. That's a fact. It's bumpy. It got down. No. We're going down. What is that? Is that rain? There's a spider.
That's crazy because we're not moving. We're not moving.
I know. Wanna go black?
That was King Kong 360.
Did we see that last time?
No.
Because some of the stuff was closed the last time. I don't remember that. Y'all remember that?
No.
All right. Y'all know
We
we
need
didn't
more
move
of
at all.
these.
We didn't move at all. We were sitting
I
in
know.
one place.
We're sitting in one
Kong
place.
has been a
This
part
didn't
of the
move.
studio tour
The thing
Felt like
was
you.
moving. Yeah, the thing was
40
moving.
years. And King Kong 360 has been recently updated with state-of-the-art 2D technology. Still brings you some
No,
of the most
they had
cutting-edge
like, you see
CGI
them
effects
things?
that you can see
It was
in
bouncing
movie
back and
making
forth.
today. The epic battle inside brought to you
Look
by
who you
Becky
really can
Jackson
eat it.
and the team at
For real.
Weta FX, a New Zealand-based company. Weta has won Academy Awards for their CGI work in the past. They've worked on movies of ours, like Fast and Furious, Jurassic World, Wicked. So they are the leaders in CGI design. And in 2026, we love visual effect technology. But here on the studio tour, we also love the practical effects, the practical sets, the real world. So as we continue the tour, Joseph's going to be driving us through a majority of our backlot real-life locations, real-life exteriors, real-life buildings and sets that we can film upon, and hopefully
This is
turn
where,
into any location or
Wednesday
time
was
period
filmed.
that we might need to be in. I say they are buildings, but actually most of the buildings that you're going to see on the backlot are more just like facades. They have the exterior walls, but a lot of them do not have the interior space. We would prefer to film the interior part of a scene inside of a soundstage, so we don't need to build what the camera is not going to see. Even what looks to be like real brick or stone, most of the facades are made out of more lightweight materials. A lot of the times brick is just made out of plastic. Big sheets of plastic that has been molded to look like brick, painted over the top to give it the final look that we might need. Lightweight materials make it easy for us to come in and change these sets around and make them look different from time to time. First, we are passing by our metropolitan area so we can recreate big city scenes off there to our left. They're currently preparing those sets for an upcoming production. The Metro sets have been really busy lately. They've been filming multiple productions in some of those streets. A couple of the productions we've been working on are Ted. Ted has been filming out there for season 2. They dress up some of the streets as Boston, 1990s Boston for some of their filming. St. Denis Medical films out there. They turn a couple of the facades into the exterior of their emergency entrance. So St. Denis Medical uses our Metro sets on a regular basis. And there's been an upcoming Big Bang Theory spin-off series filming out there called Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. That's coming to HBO Max in the future, so we're looking forward to that too. Over there to your left, you can see the home of the singing competition, The Voice. Those sound stages back there, stage 30 and 31, that is where they film everything for The Voice. The blind auditions, the battle rounds, the live finale episodes towards the end. They are getting ready for seasons 30 and 31. When they film the blind auditions, they actually do 2 seasons at a time so they can get prepared, so they can get ahead of themselves. And then they film, of course, the live episodes with people voting and everything in due time, in those moments. But they film the blind auditions 2 seasons at once so they can get through as many people as they can. Right next door to The Voice, we film an NBC series called Happy's Place, starring Reba McEntire. Now, she was a recent coach on The Voice. She was one of the coach on one of the recent seasons. So she doesn't have to go too far to work on her other NBC series, Happy's Place. Let's have a sneak peek of that television show from Reba herself.
Hey there, I'm Reba McEntire, and welcome to Happy's Place. We shoot our heartfelt comedy right here on Universal Live. Now, unlike most TV shows, we are a multi-camera sitcom, meaning several cameras capture every scene from a different angle, all at the same time. Each episode takes about a week to make, from the first read-through of the script to rehearsals to taping in front of a live studio audience. And let me tell you, every step is a blast. Enjoy the ride, and we'll see you at Happy's Place.
Happy's Place and The Voice, those are our 2 current shows that have live audience members. So when they are filming, you can go online, you can obtain tickets, and you can sit in the audience, you can actually see live production, live filming happening inside of sound stages here on the Universal lot. We have made it to the other end of our property. We have made it to yet another part of the world. Joseph is driving us through what we call Little Europe. This area can be dressed as some sort of European city or country. This area has a lot of fame to it. Technically, these sets are over 100 years old. The first movie to film out here, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, released in 1923. These sets went on to be used for All Quiet on the Western Front. Our first Oscar-winning movie, our first Oscar winner for Best Picture in the year 1930. We've won a total of 11 Academy Awards for Best Picture, for Best Movie of the Year. Our latest one was for the movie Oppenheimer. That was a Universal picture. I think that won in 2024. But getting back to these Little Europe sets, they have a lot of historical value. They're not the same identical exact sets that have been standing for 100 years. All of our sets get redesigned, they get refurbished, redone, but it is the same idea. It's the same type of sets that have stood for all of this time. And Little Europe has history mainly because of our classic Universal monster movies. Guys like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, the Mummy. Well, they love to film their angry villagers scenes, among others, right here amongst our Little Europe sets. A lot of those monster films were made throughout the 1930s, throughout the Great Depression. We made monster films. We invented the horror genre during that time, mainly as a way to save money on productions. Our Little Europe sets were getting a little more run down. They weren't in the most perfect condition, so they said, perfect, why don't we create a new character, a new genre, the horror genre that fits in with these older, more run down, dilapidated sets. Of course, we redo things and we keep whatever is efficient to us. We want to have sets that we can reuse a whole bunch of different ways for a whole bunch of different scenarios. Little Europe still gets used. In fact, it got used extensively during one of our NBC series called The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. That show primarily took place in the afterlife, The Good Place, as they called it. So let's take a look at what The Good Place looks like when you see that on screen.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
The Good Place was once one of our permanent television shows. It ran for 4 seasons. So during their time, they would film a whole bunch of scenes right there in Little Europe. They would also use some of our sound stages for some of their interior filming. So when I say that these buildings are facades and we use them for just exterior scenes, of course, then we film the interior part inside of a soundstage. We edit it all together to make it look like it's one chronological flowing scene, and hopefully you don't even notice the difference. You know, your mind makes you think that, well, that scene has to be taking place inside of that building. I just saw those characters walk inside. So we've got lots of tricks up our sleeves to hopefully make these scenarios feel as authentic as possible when you see them on camera. All right, stay in your seats, folks. We are waiting our turn to head inside of a soundstage here next. We are entering inside of Soundstage 50. And you'll see that this soundstage is all set up. This soundstage is all ready to go. Soundstage 50 is dressed up as a subway station. It doesn't change very much. Stage 50 usually stays as a subway. But you can change the station's location around by changing the exit signs, the signage, the maps on the walls. They currently have it dressed as a San Francisco station for some upcoming work. This would be a great time for me to talk to you guys about...
It's the earthquake. It's gonna fall over
Okay,
here.
nothing to worry about, folks. Just a little earthquake. We get them all the time here in California. No, this might be more than a little earthquake. Everyone just remain calm. Stay in your seats. Hold on.
We survived the earthquake. Oh my god.
That attraction originally opened.
How did they get that back up though?
They just recently redid it.
Oh, they had to pull it back up.
They updated a lot of the props and the
I want
movie
another
making
stage.
equipment. They tried to bring the set into the
No,
21st
it's
century.
insane though.
Y'all remember that one?
That attraction is
No, I don't.
inspired by a movie. It's based
I
on
think
the
the King
disaster
Kong one.
classic Earthquake
Not
that was released back in
one. That was the most
1974.
scariest one, I'm not gonna lie.
Phew. We've already been through a lot out here. An earthquake, King Kong. I think it's time for us to relax. We're going to take a little vacation. We are headed to
Captain.
Amity Island.
He kept it. We
It
gonna
was
get another
once
one.
terrorized by that famous shark in Jaws.
Oh yeah, here it is. Jaws.
But the people of Amity are breathing a sigh of relief these days because they finally caught that famous shark. You'll see him hanging up over there on the right-hand side of the harbor. There's a police diver out there right now, making
I get to
one
see the
final
shark.
sweep,
Sorry, we'll come
making sure that everything is safe, making sure that everything is good to go.
Look.
Oh no, do you guys see that? I think I see another fin out there in the middle of the harbor. Looks like that fin is swimming over towards our diver. Hey, you might want to get back in the police boat. Get out of the water. He is not listening to me. You all right, buddy? Say something. Sure had a lot of guts to be out there. I think I see the guts spewing out of the sea. That's disgusting. I'm sorry you folks had to see that. Let's pull up. Stay in your seats. We're going to hide behind these flammable gasoline tanks. Everyone knows gas is a great place to hide whenever danger is looming.
No, it's not.
Okay, I think the shark got a hold of the bait that was tied to that yellow buoy out there in the center. So far, so good. Who could have suspected this?
No.
Did anyone back there keep their eye on the shark? Maybe he's on the other side. Oh no.
There you go, look. There you go.
Where? Where is he? Gasoline.
Right, dog right here. Dog right here.
Ah!
His name was Bruce. He was named during their filming. Steven Spielberg nicknamed him after his attorney, Bruce Raymer. There is another famous Bruce the Shark from an animated movie from Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo. You remember that shark was named Bruce. He was named after our Bruce that starred in Jaws back in 1975. From one classic studio tour attraction to the
This
next,
shark's more scary.
right now Joseph is bringing us here to this part of the lot that we call Old Mexico. And this area is already rigged up for a little weather demonstration. Not every script calls for the beautiful California sunshine that we get day in and day out. I know, so boring. Sometimes we have to create a little bit of weather out here for our scenes. We've got this area rigged up, like I said. We're gonna get all of the effects started to show you how we can create a rainstorm, a thunderstorm, at any time of day. There's even strobe lights out here that you might see amongst the shade. Sound effects. Now we've got the water flowing on your left-hand side too.
What?
It's not very hard for us to create rain in Old Mexico. We have sprinklers hooked to the top of those telephone poles. It shoots the water into the air and it just falls back down to earth naturally. We try and use a bigger raindrop than normal so it has the best chance to appear on screen. You can be watching a sporting event and the announcers talk about how it's raining on the field, but on television it can be hard to see that rain appear. We want to make sure it shows up by using big raindrops. Oh no, we might have left the water on for too long. We got a bunch of it headed right for the tram. Releasing thousands of gallons of water from up there at the top of the hill. We'll show you how that flood looks on camera. It was used for the movie Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti.
You can't outrun the law, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that.
We are crossing the border from Old Mexico, entering the Old West. This part of our lot is known as Six Points, Texas. It has that name because during the heyday of the Western genre, there used to be 6 different Western streets out here that all came together at a central hub. Hence the name, 6 Points, Texas. We are so creative here in the industry.
Something about to happen.
6 Points is just going through a little bit of refurbishment right now. We're not getting rid of the sets by any means, just redoing some of the buildings. The Western sets also have some historical value. Technically, we've been filming Western movies longer than anything else. Since the late 19-teens, the early 1920s. We have to make a couple of changes out here when we do film an authentic Western scene. The biggest change has to do with the ground. We cover up the concrete, the asphalt, with dirt. When we're not filming, we sweep up that dirt and we take it away. We do not leave it behind. That's a good way to know if we're filming in 6 Points, Texas. You see dirt on the ground in this area, that probably means a camera is pretty close by. We have used some of these sets for some real classics. You might see some of your favorite old Western stars on your screens now. By the way, folks, we have approximately just 15 minutes left in our tour. We'll be returning to the theme park soon enough. Remember to pull the emergency cord from the assistants and remain seated at all times. We're going to be heading up the hill. We're going to be passing by Jaws Lake one more time, just as bystanders this time around. I want to play you a clip from Steven Spielberg talking about creating Jaws, the ride.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created.
So the movie released in the summer of '75, and then the attraction opened just 1 year later in 1976, and it's been operational in that spot ever since. The movie Jaws was supposed to be released in the Christmas time of 1974, but they had so many problems and issues with the shark on location filming in the Atlantic Ocean, they had to delay the release of the movie. They pushed it back to the summer of '75. They didn't realize how big of a money-making opportunity these summertime could be. So Jaws was the first movie ever to make $100 million at the box office. First movie ever to be considered a summer blockbuster. We've been trying to replicate that success these 50 summers later. We're going to take you down one of the most famous neighborhood streets that's been on TV. It's the old Wisteria Lane that used to belong to ABC's Desperate Housewives. We have recently put it back to use. The Lilac House that you see over on the left, it has recently come into question in our new NBC Peacock series called The Burbs, starring Keke Palmer.
I thought it looked familiar. I watched it.
Welcome to Ashfield Place, the safest town in America. So, what's the deal with that Victorian house? There have been whispers of murder. Which one of us is the murderer? So are we gonna go in?
Do white ladies love salads? Hell yeah, we're going in.
This Peacock adaptation of The Burbs is based on the movie The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks, that released back in 1989. This is the same street they used for Tom Hanks' version of The Burbs. So here it is, full circle, all these years later. This street, we call it Colonial Street, an average name for an average suburban neighborhood. It gets used a ton these days, not just by us. A lot of commercials come in here and film as well. The White House on your left, I've got to point this one out because this one is in use by us. The White House belongs to Ted. That is Ted's house in his Peacock series. That is where he lives. They have to change some of these sets slightly, so as a matter of fact, when the house is in Ted, it's painted blue, not white, it's painted blue. And I'll show you a scene here right now. You might recognize the house. Here's a scene from Ted.
Let the festivities begin.
How many we got?
Well, let's see. We got 20 condiments.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Come on, Johnny, we're doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town. We're Samaritans.
He makes it. He makes that too.
As we drive up Steven Spielberg Drive, let's take a look at a sneak peek at his newest film, Disclosure Day, which is coming out this month on June 12th.
People are starved for the truth.
Have you watched it?
Human rights cannot accept what we do.
Are you?
From Steven Spielberg.
What did you steal?
Secrets.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
If we do this, there's no undoing it.
That's the plan.
What?
This is Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. Rated PG-13 in theaters June 12th.
That is a shameless plug, and that's okay because Steven Spielberg is pretty important around here. After all, he's got a whole road named after him here on the back lot, Steven Spielberg Drive. So, Disclosure Day in theaters, June 12th. We're going to see some sets coming up that are a little more recognizable. In fact, you might be able to tell us what some of these next locations have been used for. We also have some picture cars that you might recognize. Picture cars become famous when they're seen on screen. That's all it means. A picture car is a vehicle seen on screen during movies and television shows. Any type of car, prehistoric cars from the Flintstones movie, futuristic cars from Back to the Future Part 2, all the way from the year 2015. We've got Who cars on the right from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Those are modified golf carts to look like little Who cars. Of course, you gotta have a few Fast and Furious cars. I think they've moved a few up into the theme park as well. Getting ready for our new roller coaster. You gotta open that up sometime this year. Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. Can't come soon enough. This next set you'll recognize if you're a fan of thrillers, classics. If you know Alfred Hitchcock, I bet you'll know this set. We are talking about Psycho. We've got the Bates Motel on our right. The Psycho house is up there on the hill. Oh, take a look at that. Looks like the one and only Norman Bates is down here right now, working at the motel himself. You know what? He's probably doing a little spring cleaning. He's probably freshening up for our arrival. It's hard to be prepared for all 150 of us all at once. There's only 12 rooms, so some of us are going to have to double or triple or quadruple or quintuple up in some of these bunks. I hate to say it, but maybe we'll make enough room for everybody. Oh, I don't know if there's enough room at all. Looks like Norman's currently helping his last guest check out. He hasn't noticed us still. Maybe if we continue to stay quiet, he won't notice. He'll go back inside, and then we'll be able to continue the tour. Nope, too late. No, too late. He spotted us. Norman, we're going to get out of here. We didn't see anything. We're just going to head up the hill. Oh, please, Norman, not the knife. Norman, we talked about that. Norman, no.
Oh,
He's coming up the stairs. Are you gonna come up the stairs?
As we pass by the Psycho house, we'll be entering one of the most colossal sets to be built out here. This is the airplane crash site scene from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. This is all that is left of Tom Cruise's neighborhood from that movie. The airplane on your left is a real 747. They purchased it from an airplane graveyard, took it apart, loaded each big piece onto a truck, and drove it here to Universal Studios so they could film this one and only scene for the movie. Here, take a look at this. War of the Worlds.
Is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When you first get to sit down to talk about War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
Now close.
Robbie, get in. Get in. When they were putting together this scene out here, it took them 3 weeks to construct the set. Took them another week to film on it. In the movie, the scene's on screen for an entirety of just 4 minutes. All of this work for just 4 minutes worth of camera time in War of the Worlds. Technically, War of the Worlds is a Paramount-produced film, but Steven Spielberg knows who to turn to in his hour of need. We're fortunate enough to work with these different Academy Award-winning directors. Our latest and greatest, he directed Nope in 2022, Mr. Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the Winking Well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience.
Nobody care about that.
Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show.
He's sticking his
It's not looking so live.
He's sticking up the middle finger.
Anyway, Behind this Hollywood fantasy, Golden Rush frontier town, lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. Welcome to the world of no.
I might have to watch this. There's something in the window or something.
Well, we'll take a piece of Jordan Peele's advice and get out. But we are happy to have him as part of our Universal family, hopefully for a long time to come. As a matter of fact, when we built Jupiter's Claim here from, nope, this isn't the actual filming location. This is just a studio tour attraction. But when we opened Jupiter's Claim, it coincided with the release of the movie in theaters. Same day Nope was out, was the same day we started driving guests through Jupiter's Claim. And that just never happens. Usually it takes wild success of the film in order to get an attraction based upon it. But not for Jupiter's Claim. Nope, they went for it right away. We've been driving through it ever since the movie released in 2022. Coming up here on your right, you're going to see an actual screen-used ship from Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, starring Matt Damon. Be sure to see Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey in theaters starting July 17th. We want to prove to you that we can go anywhere in the world here on the Universal lot. The Odyssey definitely takes place in some remote locations. That big blue wall that was back behind that ship, that's a location where we can do scenes that might take place in the middle of an ocean, the middle of the sea. We use visual effects. We use CGI, computer-generated imagery, to add on. We have a pit in front of that blue wall that basically gets filled up with real water, and then CGI effects take effect, and we can add in CGI to make that area look like it's the middle of an ocean, if need be. I'll show you a filming example just so you can get the gist of it. It's not from The Odyssey, it's from a different movie, of course. It's from a movie from a few years ago, Sully, starring Tom Hanks. The movie was about the miracle on the Hudson. But keep this in mind, everything that you're about to watch, filmed in front of that blue wall that was back there on our right. They brought in a real airplane to do this evacuation scene, but everything else is done with visual effects. So the clouds, the skyline, the ferries you'll see, that helicopter, all the extra water in the distance, that is all done with CGI, and that is what we can use that big blue wall for. We can make it look like it's the middle of an ocean, the middle of the Hudson, if need be. And that Odyssey ship, ever so conveniently located right next to that big blue wall, comes out July 17th, so be sure to look for the Odyssey here soon enough. We are wrapping up things. As a matter of fact, Joseph's going to be taking us to our last and final stop, the unload stop, to get you back into the theme park. We've been making movies under your feet for the last 111 years. Been doing the studio tour for 62 of those years, since 1964. Think about it. When the studio tour started, they hired 2 drivers, 2 tour guides, 1 ticket seller. That was it. That was all they needed. But here we are, 62 years later. Now there's hundreds of team members who support the studio tour alone. We entertain millions of guests all over the globe with our 7 theme parks worldwide. We wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for the studio tour, getting it started all of those years ago. So, on behalf of our driver, Joseph, myself, Jonathan, for everyone here at NBC Universal, we hope you enjoyed your special look back at 60 plus years of studio tour history. When we make it to our unload stop, we'll be disembarking from the tram on the left. Once they pop those gates open for you, that's your signal that you are free to go. They'll have one of those studio directories, a video board upon exit that's got some of the wait times and show times listed on it. You can get all of that same wait time info on your smartphone. You can download the Universal Studios Hollywood app from your favorite app store. Search Universal CA, and the app should pop up first. The app has interactive maps, show times, wait times, character times, mobile food ordering information, the park hours as well. So download the app, or you can check that board on the way out for some of the immediate wait time information. Follow that path down to the left for everything. The restrooms, the refreshments, the escalators and elevators to get back to the rest of the theme park. Folks, enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Alright, let's go. We got Mario World.
Guys, I'm gonna end the vlog and we start a new one. No. But this was absolutely a banger. I'm in the vlog right here and I'm out.